Hey, leader. Welcome back to Leading to the Benchmarks. I'm Mignon Hooper, founder of Platinum Life Coaching and the Belonging Leader. And today we are stepping into something that every leader wrestles with. It's called decision making. We're continuing our series of the innovation and problem solving because clarity in motion, so important. And today, as we anchor our experience together, clarity drives confidence, and confidence creates momentum. And today is not about making decisions faster, it's about making them clearer so that you lead with strength instead of stress. And when we're talking about decision making, over this next little bit of time together, we're going to reduce decision fatigue, increase decision quality, and to give your team more clarity than confusion. Because when you make decisions from alignment instead of adrenaline, your entire organization feels that shift. It isn't about choosing faster, it's about choosing clearer. So let's focus through these. Why decision making matters. It impacts everything you do, your energy, your team's trust, your execution speed, your innovation flow, and truly, it affects your culture. And in belonging leadership, people don't just follow your decisions, they follow how you make decisions. Clarity equals safety, consistency equals trust, and strategic decisions. They shape energy management, team trust, execution speed, innovation flow, and culture and belonging. And after all, isn't that what we're here? Is to create a belonging experience? Because there are three decision traps, when we're building this type of mastery, and we're going to identify them where we lose momentum. They are overthinking. More information doesn't equal better choices. Avoidance, delaying the uncomfortable. Decision because you don't want to feel the discomfort. Emotional hijacking, making decisions from stress instead of from strategy. Quick reflection is that where do you get stuck? Now, which trap have you been holding on to lately? I would love for you to make a comment, and also post what decision it is that you're holding on to that maybe you haven't decided on, because that decision fatigue is just so real. Now, let's walk through a system you can use for any future decision, from hiring to pricing to boundaries to strategy. This is the DECIDE framework, a simple, repeatable pathway to clarity. We're going to define the decision. If you can't articulate what you're trying to make, you're going to chase shadows. Define the decision in one clear sentence. Evaluate the essentials. We mistake more information for better decisions. It's not true. You can ask yourself what actually matters here and what's just noise. And you can decide from there. Consider the consequences, short term and long term, because short term comfort can sabotage long term clarity. A belonging leader asks themselves, does this decision move us to alignment, or does it pull us out of it? And then involve the right people. Not everyone needs to weigh in. Involve only the people affected, the people with insight, and the people who will be executing the process. Collaboration doesn't mean it has to be a full on committee. And then decide and document. Say it clearly, write it down, because clarity becomes contagious when it's visible. And execute and evaluate. The decision isn't complete until it's acted on and it's reviewed. Most leaders forget that second step, which is to actually evaluate what is going on. Because when we look at the activity and then we review it, the evaluation, that is what really truly builds the wisdom. Now, let's just make this real. Think of one decision you've been carrying way too long. Please feel free to put it in the comments, like and share. We would greatly appreciate that. That helps us out a lot. And what is this decision? Which trap is blocking it? What's your next right step? Using the DECIDE method. And you can drop it in the chat again, like I said, and then you can create some new clarity around it. Because even decision fatigue goes back to just the slightest thing of being able to choose your clothes. Because when I choose my clothes out the night before, my day, the next day is actually even better. But whenever I'm decision fatigue or if I change clothes, that can create complication. It seems silly, but when the decision fatigue starts with just picking out what it is I'm going to wear today, that's why these top executives wear the same clothes every day. It's really quite interesting to watch these high performers do that. So here's the truth. I want you to take with you today. Indecision drains more energy than the wrong decision. And clarity is an act of generosity to yourself and to your team. Micro decisions, they build momentum, and courageous decisions create courageous teams. It creates a continuity, a great synergistic experience. As a belonging leader, your decisions model is to create transparency, consistency, logic, and empathy, and process your team can trust. When people understand how you choose, they can feel safer following your lead. Choose one decision you've been avoiding. This week, work through the 6 steps: define, evaluate, consider, involve, decide, and execute. Key here is to execute within 72 hours and to take one slight action step, one small action step in the next 24 hours will actually anchor that experience. And then small decisions, they create big momentum. All right, our quote this week is by Theodore Roosevelt. He said it so beautifully. The worst thing you can do is do nothing. Leaders don't freeze, they choose with clarity. On our next episode, we're stepping into opportunity identification, how leaders train their brain to see what others miss. You don't want to miss this one. And thank you for being here today. I'm Mignon Hooper, founder of The Belonging Leader and our podcast here. As always, stop chasing time and go light your fire because clarity isn't the speed, it's the direction. Have an amazing day.